broke. It wasn't Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch's fault. It was all the phone trying to push an update. So it's very, very unfortunate, but you can't really control it. So let's try to put this on here while I'm trying to get my live figured out. I literally got 8 people hopping into my other live. Alright, let's try to put this on here. Hopefully YouTube and Facebook fixes themselves, but for now, you guys at Twitch are the last line of defense. Not really, but you guys are cool. Alright, so let's line this up. Bump that down. There we go. So now slide this down. It seats just fine. And then from this point we have to straighten our body. So we will refresh. I don't know. This worked out perfect. I'm very happy with this. I'm not happy with Facebook and YouTube right now. Whenever anything goes wrong, they just decide to like curl up and die. Twitch, what you guys doing over there? Raspberry Pi, we're working on a 7/8 EIA flange right here. Waving a hand. Jeremy, hope you appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for following, man. Pugs Big, Chad, hope you're doing well. Harold, waving a hand. Thank you for sharing. Bill, Bonds, Carlos, all you guys, hope you guys are doing well. That are hopping in and out of the live. We're just straightening out this connection right here. I was trying to fix my Facebook and YouTube, but it's it may be beyond repair for this live at least. So see how that seats up against the top of that connection? That's doing what it needs to do. We want to fix this O-ring right here. Run this all around here. That's nice and clear. Hey, Facebook's fixed. Alright, waving a hand. Sorry about Facebook being broke. Maybe YouTube's fixed. Woo! Facebook's fixed. YouTube's fixed. Everything's good. So this is some 7/8 hardline that we're working on right here. Hello YouTube. Hello Facebook. Twitch is still hanging around. My stuff messed up. But yeah, this is an RF supply channel. I work on coaxial cable stuff for communications equipment and things like that. In any sort of form, whether it's hobbyist, whether it's commercial, whether it's telecommunications, whether it's aircraft. I do all sorts of RF work. It's kind of my business. So, if you've got questions about coax, this right here is what's called 7/8 hardline. Or 7/8 Heliax in this particular case, because Heliax is a brand name, it's not a type of coax, but a lot of people know it as Heliax. Safety glasses are required. I will get foam all in my eyeballs if I don't watch it. So we're clearing out. Alright, you don't want to get too aggressive on this part because you want to build your flange first. So what I'm going to do is I've got most of the jacket clear right now. So I'm throwing material out as I'm slinging it outward. It's landing on my gloves and I'm just blowing it off. Technically, if I had just a little miniature blower, it would work just fine, but just a solid breath of air will do it. Apparently they haven't made anti-fogging safety glasses yet, and if they do, then whatever this 3M company has not gotten the memo. No, these are Holmes. What are these? I don't know what those are. I don't know. I think they're made by 3M. Well, we got to knock a look. There you go. Cool. Cleared that material off. Yeah, but this is the type of coaxial cable, if anybody wants to know. 301, 305. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry about that. I don't know what the heck happened. Taterhead, waving a hand. Hope you're doing well, Terrence. Yeah, it is it's a bit bigger than most. It is not the biggest. This is some inch and 5/8 right here, but 7/8 is pretty large. A lot of guys tend to like 7/8 cable even more than inch and 5/8, even though inch and 5/8 is larger. I guess they figure, like, once you go beyond a certain point, it's like, yeah, that's crazy stupid. I don't want to do that. But 7/8 is still kind of attainable because it's big, but it's not crazy. So this is 7/8 hardline. Also, in this particular case, it's actually Heliax. I did put that in the description just because it's a brand name, but that's what this is. Most of what I sell is Heliax, but I do still have other hardlines, so I just say hardline just so people don't get confused, and then I don't have to remember to put every brand name down every time that I'm building the wire. Brand doesn't matter, it just matters the internal makeup, the dielectric, how it's built, things like that. Those are the things that are important. This coax right here in HF spectrum, so from 0 to 30 megahertz or so, it will handle about 16,000 or so average, and that's 24/7, 365 days a year use. Now, the power handling of the cable the power handling of cable is very dependent on the connector that you use. I showed a little lineup earlier of connectors. I showed this connector right here, and then I showed just like your regular UHF connector, and then I showed an LC connector, and I showed you a DIN connector and things like that. But if you look at the center pin of the DIN versus the center conductor of the wire itself, there's a bit of a difference there. So the power handling of a DIN is definitely going to be less than the power handling of this connector, just simply from an RF amperage standpoint. Nonetheless, any sort of just power handling in general. So let's continue forward. From here, I've got to go ahead and get the center bullet put on, and the way I'm going to do that. Hey, the cool thing is with this cable, it is perfectly capable of running smaller. The problem with any cable is they're not capable of running larger. So you gotta keep that in mind. Where did I put that? I don't know what I just did. I took a connector out of the box. Oh, that's some more connectors. I need to put them up. I got freaking connectors for days, man. I prepared a little bit for the tariff and stuff coming in, just in case any companies did any like preemptive price increases or anything like that. I just went ahead and ordered a lot of my stuff. So I have connectors. I have smaller cable, things like that, a bunch of that stuff. Now the big cable, you can't do nothing about. I can't keep a crazy amount of that in stock. It's just not possible. And it's with me having like over 1,000 foot going out in the next 2 weeks. You can't. It's just it ebbs and flows, ins and outs. It's just part of it. So now I have got to locate the baggie that I removed, and then I've got to find what the heck is going on. Oh goodness, where did I put it? Let me look right here. Did I swap connectors or something? Yeah, I did. That's what I did. Alright, cool. I figured it out. So I was messing around and I swapped up connectors with what I had. So I just need to... I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I'll figure out in a little bit if I did. If I did. So. Alright, so put this body back over there for now. This is our center conductor, and technically I could just do this and this would be complete. Me being me, I'm a bit extra. I'm going to go the extra mile because I want to make sure my electrical connection is very good. This is a pretty decent mechanical connection, but as far as electrical, I try to be a little bit more particular. Anybody else got any other questions or things you want to say on TikTok? Y'all feel free to hop in there. Let me go back over here. Facebook, wipe them with alcohol. That works. Use the defogger on your glasses that you use on your car window. Maybe we'll give it a shot. Some defogger. Alright, so YouTube, you got any more questions? Waving a hand. Hope you guys are doing well on YouTube. Let's go back over here to TikTok, and I will talk to you guys a little bit. Now, the way I do this is I'll take this right here. This is dirty. It's got some crap on it. So what I'll do is I'll clean it up. My sponge is actually still wet from yesterday. No, actually, it's still wet from Tuesday. That's pretty cool. So now it's nice and clean. So what I do is just lay it in there. So you will see me jump out of the way, and move my leg if this falls. It's the only precarious thing about this. If I had something that was perfectly the right size for this, it'd be great. But there's again limited resources. You gotta watch what you're doing. Let me set this back over here for a second and get a little bit more prepared over here. So I made a little homemade jig. Oh, and here it is. This is my little hobo thing that I created. And then we just take it a step right here. Something like that will do what I need it to do. I will snag my torch right here. Use that. I've got to make sure this is not in the way of the iron. So let me... I think I'll go around over here. That'll work. So we'll line this up. I'm going to let this kind of rotate a little bit towards me because I want this fairly close to straight up and down. It don't have to be perfect. It can be off a little bit. I'm not worried about that too much. I just want that to stay in there. And then I want to use this solder over here. So I'm going to go in the back side of this. Alright, got solder added in there. from here. I'll add some solder around this edge. So I'm going to leave this right here, try to get it to stay without falling. I'll get my handy dandy little pliers right here. And then I'm going to add a little bit more solder to this while I'm here. Just line it up back there. Alright. Got my gloves on, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit. Got all connection nice and hot. So we want to have a little bit more. So that's why I kept rotating right there. There's always a risk whenever you do that. So there's something I'm listening for. If you'll hear it. I'm listening for a grip. So you'll hear it kind of sounds like, I don't know what you would call it, to be honest. I don't even know what the right word is for it. So we will get this nice and hot. Trying to cheat a little bit. Woo! Alright, cool. That's what I was looking for. I've got to also make sure that the center conductor is not too hot. I've also got to line up this connector right here. There we go. Best case scenario, everything worked out perfect. Very happy with the results. I've already put that on there. So I can tighten this booger on. Well, let's loosen it up just a little bit. Give me just a second. Not that this is extremely important. Definitely something I want to handle though. Alright. So I got two not large enough. This one and this one are the larger ones. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit of crunch time right there. Nothing crazy special, just important to get these things lined up all while it's nice and warm, because there's always a chance the dielectric can move somewhat, so we want to keep that dielectric nice and centered and maintain our it's not very clean. Let's just not say that. I got to do a lot of cleanup to make my bench ready. But this is a lot of prep work for a lot of the installs that are ready. This is a lot of the parts that I'm using. If I had a better organizational system, then I would clean it up a little bit more than this. But I mean, it is what it is. I do appreciate the accolades, but I don't quite think I deserve them. My bench is a mess. All right. So, anybody else have questions about what I'm working on? Y'all feel free to ask. We're working on some, like I mentioned earlier, some 7/8 hardline. In this case, in this specific case, it's going to be Heliax. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit since I got some gloves on. And we're going to make sure I compress and knock any air bubbles that might be in here out. Again, it's a little hot, so don't do this without gloves or without like at least a little bit of insulation on your gloves. If it transfers the heat right away, you'll burn yourself. All right, Facebook land. What you guys got to say? Need some of that? Yes, yes, that is correct. It's good for a 16,000 average, according to 388. Hope you. Yeah, waving a hand, man. Hope you're doing well, 388. But yes, it's good for 16,000 average in the HF spectrum. If you go higher in frequency, you go down in wattage. You also increase attenuation. So we're going to put this one aside, and then we'll get some more done here a little bit later. I've got to do 6 more of these. So you guys will see plenty of these over the next couple videos. I'll probably be back on Monday doing another video. I may do an in-between Friday or Saturday video, but that's not going to be RF supply work, so you won't see me working on this. So this is complete. I've got more to do, but we are calling it an evening because TikTok was difficult anyway. Excuse me. Facebook and YouTube were difficult. TikTok's been great. All right, appreciate you guys. I'm going to hop out of here, and I'll catch you guys later. If you guys got questions, feel free to ask. If you want to follow me, feel free to follow me. If you want to like this video and you enjoyed it, feel free to like the video. Wave a hand, Cletus. You done caught me at the tail end of every video. We just finished in 7/8 EIA. We got to do another 6 more of these. So you guys will see me doing several more of these EIAs. And I'll let you see how they go on. Looks just like this. And this is a bolt-on coax connector. It is no longer a screw-on coax connector. So it has 3 bolts that lock it into place. PEP, I mean, you're talking about a significant higher number. Depends, according to Andrew's website, I think it's like 60,000 or something like that. But realistically, it'll be somewhere in that neighborhood. It just depends on what kind of growth you got out of there, and also depends on how much voltage it sees at the RF voltage. It's good for, I think, 9,000 volts on spark gap voltage, So the RF voltage, how high that voltage goes, is what determines whether it can arc or anything like that. All right, catch you guys later. You guys have a good one. I'm going to kill the TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. So y'all have a good evening. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, TikTok.